Well, a very good morning, everybody, and welcome on in to Mr. Andrew Lessman's incredible facility here in Henderson, Nevada. It is a sunny morning, but Andrew, a little nippy out there, isn't it?
It's cool here in Nevada right now. It's funny, in January I was here and it was probably high 70s every day, and I was going, what's going on here? Usually it can be quite cool here in November, December, January, February. People forget this is the high desert. It can be cool, and it's cool again. So it was probably low 40s this morning, I would think, which folks in the Midwest or Northeast are saying, what are you talking about? that's balmy weather. But no, it's a little chillier here.
Well, we are certainly heating things up here.
Not St. Petersburg, Florida.
No, indeed.
Yes.
That is still sunbathing weather right now. But we're heating things up, Andrew, with the once a year today special.
Yes.
It is Essential One. We want to welcome in so many new viewers who are watching us from QVC this morning, and also to HSN viewers that have been with Andrew for many, many years. You will know this is the foundation, this is the ultimate, this is the one that everybody should certainly be considering when you think about adding to your diet. It's the nutrients, it's the vitamins, it's the minerals. I'm going to go over the pricing in just a moment, but Andrew, this is something where, you know, I love talking about this particular vitamin because it's certainly, in terms of the style, the type, the most popular. Well,
first of all, it's the most basic concept in vitamins. A lot of products are whatever you'd call it, sort of sexier.
Right.
They're more interesting because people can make more provocative or more exciting claims. But I think there's no more exciting claim than, and certainly no more scientifically established claim, than a product that only contains the basic essential nutrients that are scientifically defined by their essential nature. And their essential nature in your body means something that you must have them. If you don't have them, you can develop a deficiency disease or all sorts of other health issues. But also, your body can't make them. So they're absolutely essential to your health and your body's functioning, but your body is incapable of making them on its own, which means that we rely on our diet. That's what we rely on for these vitamins and these minerals. And well established for decades. Back when I first started making vitamins in the 1970s, it was well established then that our food supply wasn't what it was before, our diet was nowhere near what it was previously, and that vitamins and minerals were running at a high rate of insufficiency or deficiency in our population. Matters have not gotten any better and only gotten worse, and that's why this is one product. When I do a product, it requires the least bit of, how would I say, sort of conviction to offer,
right? Because
it's so obvious, it's so straightforward. That's Marcel wanting to play.
He agrees.
It's so straightforward that I wish I could say that almost all of the American population that doesn't supplement vitamin D isn't insufficient or deficient, but I can't say that. Virtually, if you look at the research, 80 to 100% of Americans who don't supplement vitamin D are insufficient or deficient. And you don't want to go through your life, or better said, you want to go through your lifetime with healthy levels of vitamin D. And if you don't supplement, in all likelihood, your levels are unhealthy. We have literally hundreds of reviews for the vitamin D product, for the Essential One product, because it essentially is a standalone vitamin D supplement. It's a standalone B12 supplement. So again, this is a product that, unlike other products where there might require a certain issue that you're dealing with or might require a certain recommendation, this is a product that I could show quotes from the Journal of the American Medical Association basically saying this is the foundational supplement. These are the nutrients that we formerly got from our diet, we no longer get from our diet. And unfortunately, that comes with consequences. So it's our most straightforward product. It's a product also that's different from every other flavor or brand of multivitamin in the world. There's no other product that is as pure. There's no other product that is as comprehensive or as high potency in a single small, not tablet, a single small, easy to swallow capsule that will never upset your stomach, that's gentle even to the most sensitive stomach. So there's no other product in the world like it. So if you're a human being, we have certain essential requirements that we can't escape. If you eat, as we typically do in America, you're still not getting adequate levels of vitamin D and B12, even if you have a perfect diet.
Right.
And unfortunately, most of us don't have a perfect diet, so it just makes a product like this even more compelling. And unfortunately, there's no other multivitamin like it in the world.
Well, I bought mine last night when Andrew launched it with Shannon. It's that one day a year where I stock up because I know it's the one vitamin that I take religiously religiously every single day. I want to go through the pricing because one of the things that's very attractive today is that Andrew has brought out a special formula at a price that is really unrivaled. So you can choose the 50 caps, normally $43. Today it's $19.90, save $23. 100 normally $77. Today $34.90, save $42. The 200 caps, normally $127, today $59.90, save $67. And of course, out of the 21,000 sold, 15,000 of those are in the 400 caps, normally $232, today $89.90 and $142. Andrew, what I found fascinating were the next two charts.
Well, even more the next chart, but this is a good chart too because it shows just the value. And many of you already get CoQ10. For those of you who already get CoQ10, you're getting a bonus of 30 milligrams of CoQ10. And in the large size, 400 capsules of 30 milligrams of CoQ10 would be worth, CoQ10 is a very expensive ingredient, would be worth over $60. For those of you who've never tried CoQ10, and CoQ10 was out of reach price-wise, it was either get a multivitamin or get CoQ10, today's an opportunity to try it. And many would say, gosh, at 30 milligrams, that's just not as much as the typical standalone CoQ10 product that I have, which is 200. But everyone needs to just take a deep breath and realize when I introduced CoQ10, and it quickly became one of my most popular products, that was back in 1984. And what was the potency? It was 30 milligrams.
Right.
It was 30 milligrams until the 1990s when we increased it to 60 milligrams. So 30 milligrams is a real dose, so it's a real opportunity not only to get, you'll never have gotten the quality of B12 in any supplement that you get with mine today, even if you're getting a high quality standalone B12 supplement, because not only do we use a natural form that's unheard of in typical supplements, because they use a form called cyanocobalamin, which actually liberates trace amounts of cyanide in your body, which I'd rather avoid if I could. So we use this natural coenzyme form, methylcobalamin, but also B12 is virtually impossible to absorb. It's horribly tolerated and absorbed in terms of its instability in the acid in our stomach. So we protect our B12 from the acid in your stomach so you can actually, for the first time, reliably absorb B12 from a vitamin supplement. So when you just look at those two ingredients alone, it's an incredible value, and that's where the next chart comes in. We obviously make lots of separate supplements. We make vitamin D and B12, and you could buy these separate supplements, but I always say make your supplement dollar go as far as possible. To give you a sense of how far it goes and why, I'll show you a quote from the Journal of the American Medical Association in a second that says why multivitamins are so recommended, and one of the reasons is because they're so affordable than buying ingredients separately. And this chart kind of sums it up. If you look at just the CoQ10 separately, the vitamin D separately, the vitamin B12 separately, calcium and magnesium separately from our calcium magnesium intensive care, vitamin C separately from our maximum potency vitamin C, and gamma tocopherol, you look at those, and that's just 7 ingredients out of more than 2 dozen. That doesn't even include lutein, lycopene, and zeaxanthin, the 3 most expensive ingredients in there, which would push this over $400 for less than half of the ingredients in the formula. So hopefully it underscores, and today being the time of year when you save over 50% on this product, hopefully it underscores what a great value it is and what an opportunity. Most of us suffer and move through the world with less than adequate levels of vitamin B12 or less than adequate levels of vitamin D. That affects how we feel, that affects our energy level, that affects our outlook and attitude. And rather than have to buy an expensive separate vitamin D and an expensive separate B12 and then maybe an expensive multivitamin that has all the other B complex, you get all of it in here for just about 20 cents a day. So it really is pennies a day. And you don't have to take, in fact, you never take more than 1 capsule daily. That's why this product is so affordable. It will never upset your stomach, and it's easy to swallow.
I mean, it's interesting. I was talking to the makeup artist backstage, a lovely lady who is joining us today for the first time, and she was being introduced to Andrew Lessman vitamins, and she takes a multivitamin. And I find myself getting into it, telling her and explaining the difference between Andrew's multivitamin and maybe the one you're taking. So I want to ask you, and I know Andrew will address it, we address the elephant in the room every time we talk about Essential 1. If you are watching us right now and you currently consume a multivitamin, even if you just stay with us for 10 more minutes, just to see the difference, comparing like for like, one a day, Centrum, how does your multivitamin stack up against the one in my hand? I think you will be stunned, if not shocked, by the results. And it's certainly a way that I think a lot of people get introduced to Andrew's line, because when you do look at the side-by-side, it is very, very surprising. Andrew, we go to a store and we put confidence and faith in the things that we buy. You are the person that's embodied that, because when we buy this, it is the purest and the best.
Well, I was like everyone. At one point, I was buying the same vitamins that are on store shelves. I always thought when I did so, and this was back, you have to go back 40 years, that they would change, they would adapt, that as we all became more conscious of what we put in our body, that of course all those multivitamins with those artificial colors would go away, that they'd stop coating them with sugars and put carbohydrate and starch in the product, because people are typically watching those kinds of ingredients. What astounds me is I've been doing this, making my vitamins, making your vitamins, for 39 years. And 39 years later, all the leading multivitamins contain artificial colors. It just astounds me. All the leading multivitamins still come in tablets. Tablets are basically, they're just a stomach upset waiting to happen.
Right.
They're a challenge to swallowing. So I'm astounded that they've still chosen to make those products. I guess that's what defines the mass market. They get away with it. That making an encapsulated dosage form, as I do, is more expensive. You have to purchase that capsule. That capsule alone, empty, costs more than it costs to make a tablet. Obviously, a tablet, all you do is add binders. And these capsules are chock full of, and as you can see, it's an abundance of powder in that capsule. And that's the difference with our product versus the other products. Our products, it's literally like dust. Their products are artificial colors. I mean, and I have to admit, that's a pretty lavender.
Looks very nice.
And they're just all sorts of fascinating colors. And those colors, rather than, and I can make those colors using natural ingredients.
Right.
We could use turmeric or berberine. We could use CoQ10 to make those colors, those bright, vivid colors. But they use artificial colors. I mean, it's fascinating. Here's a chart here. And obviously, we add nothing to our product. But Centrum Silver, one a day, this goes for all the leading brands out there. You could read their labels to see exactly what's in their products. Oftentimes it's not on their label, it's only on their box. And when you throw the box away, you lose this information. But there's just a long list of ingredients that if you're swallowing a tablet every day, that tablet weighs over a gram. In most cases, those tablets are 25, 30% or more additives. So you do that over a course of a year, that's, say, 365 grams of tablets. You're talking about 1/4 pound of additives. And if you take several tableted products, you're putting all of these additives in your body. Eventually, those additives end up out in the environment. But we all know those additives are undesirable. If someone delivered your food containing those additives, you wouldn't eat it. And what really is truly fascinating for me is that vitamins are supposed to be sort of that one healthy decision to make up for maybe some of our indiscretions in our diet. Sometimes we're in a rush, in a hurry, we just grab something that tastes good, or we grab something on the run. And okay, maybe there are some reasons we compromise because it's quick and easy or tastes good, but with a vitamin, there's absolutely no basis or reason except the interests of that manufacturer to put those other additives and chemicals in there. It's much harder to do what we do. I moved my company from Santa Monica to Henderson, Nevada. We moved to Nevada so we could make supplements without additives, because there's very little humidity here. It is very, very dry here.
Right.
And that dryness is what allows us to manage the powders better. Again, when a supplement company is making, when these guys on Centrum or One a Day, when these guys are making their vitamins, what's fascinating about this, the vitamins are delivered to them in the form of powders. Yet they then take those powders, which are highly available, highly soluble, they'd be available to you, they then compress them into a tablet. They basically use waxes and glues and binders to make that tablet. They then coat that tablet so that tablet's not going to break in the jar. They then actually, they add those colors, and those colors are incredibly vivid. And those are artificial colors. So it's just something that I find fascinating that has no business, absolutely not associated with health. I consider artificial colors are something, I think, if you look at supermarket chains that are healthy, like Whole Foods and things like that, I think one of their absolute commandments is no artificial colors in the store.
Right.
Specifically because of the science, the research, that we know artificial colors are absolutely blatantly unhealthy, undesirable.
It's never nice to hear because, you know, for many of us, like that orange tablet down there, you see the hard orange tablet, I'd been taking that one for many, many years. I know many of you do as well.
Oh, millions of Americans. And the sad part is, and I showed the chart with all those different brands, that whether it's Centrum or One A Day or the supermarket chains, whether it's like Walmart or Target, or they all basically have companies make for them identical versions, pretty much identical versions of those very popular Centrum and One A Day. So if you look at those formulas, for as many bottles as you'll see on that counter, for every bottle today that we might go through, I would say that there's thousands and thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of bottles of those other formulas with all their additives and all their colors. And in a moment, I talked about what's in their product that you don't want. And in a moment, I'm going to show you what's in their product, say, that you do want. And that my product, despite being milder, gentler, never upsets your stomach and easy to swallow, because there's no additives, and it's going to also deliver more of what you want. So not only are you getting a product that's more pure and more gentle, but you're actually getting more of the things you want in terms of the vitamins you want, specific forms that are more healthy and more beneficial that these companies don't even contemplate. We'll do that in a moment.
I've said, and I say it every time we do it, this is one of those very rare occasions where the two choices laid out in front of us, it's so black and white. Like, not one of us would ever choose that. We would always choose this because it's there. You can see the difference. Well, you are choosing this clearly with now over 16,000 or so spoken for. I want to take you through the options because today is the day. It's the one time a year where Andrew does his Essential One as a today's special. If you just want to get started and try it, if you've had vitamins before that have upset your stomach, of course, try the 50 caps. You can get that for $19.90 today. The 100 caps is $34.90. 200 caps is $59.90. Most people, of course, because it's the one a day, are choosing the 400 caps. Out of any vitamin supplement you're going to take, it would make most sense to get that one. It's $89 and change, which saves you $142. Andrew went through, but it's certainly worth seeing just very quickly, the incredible comprehensive nature of Andrew's multivitamin is huge. So when you talk about vitamin D3, B12, calcium, vitamin C, and on, this is a $325 package that you're getting for $89.90. That's very compelling, Andrew.
Well, and again, for a little more than 20 cents a day, and many of us think when we take that multivitamin, from having spoken to many, many people who take multivitamins, that a multivitamin is just supposed to give you token amounts of the nutrients. Unfortunately, that's how they were sort of originally designed, kind of dealing with those minimum daily requirements. And most of those formulas, if you look at the numbers on those formulas, their origins are 100 years old. Those origins come from when we started looking carefully at dietary requirements. As the science started revealing itself, as we started identifying in the 20th century, we started identifying all these separate nutrients that we had to have, or there were deficiency issues. And as we started identifying them, and a lot of times it was done, say, in the military and things like that, because we had to make sure that those in our military forces had adequate nutrition to do their job, because they would sometimes be away for long periods of time, and you had to make sure that the food they were getting were delivering the nutrients they required. So that's a lot of the original research on the minimum daily requirements, going back all the way to, I think, World War I. So which, as of is exactly really 100 years ago. Wow. So it's fascinating that those numbers today are still legacy numbers that haunt the leading multivitamins, not mine. The basis for the levels in my product is the science, not science from 100 years ago, unless of course it's relevant, but the current science. And what I wanted to show, and this is going to go through Probably when we're going through the research here and the brands I'm listing here, these brands probably amount to, I would say, billions of dollars in sales. So probably in one day they sell more multivitamins than I've sold in my career. But it's unfortunate because when you look at the comparison, so we've already talked about all of the things in their products that you don't want, the artificial colors, the binders, the waxes. They literally take that tablet, not only do they make it a pretty color, they shine it up. They like varnish it up. You know, some of them are covered with shellac or carnauba wax, like car wax. Wow. And then they'll actually coat it with a sugar or sweetener so it tastes sweet in your mouth. My capsules are bland. They taste like nothing in your mouth. I never get any complaints about that. Maybe someone needs to tell it to those manufacturers. They could save money on the sugars they're adding to their tablets. That we don't expect a capsule or a tablet that we swallow to have a sweet flavor. Again, I just marvel at what they've done and how in 39 years of me doing what I've been doing, that they haven't adapted at all. I was a number of years ago, probably 20 plus years ago, I was reassured when you saw it's a Benadryl. It's diphenhydramine. It's an antihistamine. But they made a dye-free version. Benadryl is typically in a pink tablet. Yeah. They made a dye-free version without, I guess it was red dye number 40. And I thought, wow, things are changing. Right. So it's only a matter of time before all those multivitamins get rid of their artificial colors. Right. Still waiting. Still waiting. So if we go here, now we see what's in the product. And originally when I would do this chart, we always had 1,000 IU of vitamin D in my products. You go back to 1979, my multivitamin, 1,000 IU. We've always had 1,000 IU. So today you choose 1,000 or 2,000. Whatever fits for you, that's what you choose. Most folks are choosing 2,000. We just want it to fit perfectly with your vitamin D consumption daily. If you're getting vitamin D from another source, you could use the 1,000. If not, 2,000, the best value. Okay. But as you go down the list here, typically for the last 30 plus years, the multivitamins were at 400 or 200. That's where they all were. Wow. A few of them have gradually come up. I congratulate them. I applaud them. B12, the other vitamin in our population that is so, I would say, almost always insufficient. And at times deficient, and many folks have to get B12 injections. Our B12 is absorbable. Work with your doctor. You could likely eliminate those injections working with your doctor because our B12 is absorbable, and obviously at a potency level everyone else has forgotten. And because even the best B12 is a challenge to absorb, so you have to give an appropriate level. Vitamin C, ours is non-acidic, it won't upset your stomach. Of course, our vitamin C, some of them have increased their levels of vitamin C over the years, which is good, and even Nature Made Complete does a good job. They give 180 milligrams of vitamin C. Of course, their vitamin C is ascorbic acid. It's acidic, it will upset your stomach. So many folks out there suffer from gastric esophageal reflux disease, or just we get easily upset stomach. Typical multivitamins irritate our stomachs because of the contents of things like vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Ours is calcium ascorbate, absolutely pH neutral, non-acidic, won't upset your stomach. Here's a couple of the other big brands I just thought I'd show. Again, all of them lower potencies in vitamin D, drastically lower potencies in B12. Ours is protected, theirs is not. Ours is natural coenzyme form, theirs is not. It's cyanocobalamin that liberates cyanide traces in your body. Again, ours is not acidic vitamin C, so as you could see, and these vitamins I suspect amount to all these brands, billions of dollars a year annually in sales. It's what most of us are taking, and unfortunately you get all of the additives, and then when you think about what you pay for, you get all these things you don't want to pay for, and then when you think about what you're paying for, again, look at the levels. B1, B2, B6, the nutrients associated with energy production, the nutrients associated with fat-burning metabolism, carbohydrate metabolism, blood sugar regulation, all of these important things, we give you in most cases about 6 times more, whether it's B1, B2, or B6, and you already saw with B12. By the way, all of these B vitamins are very expensive and have only been going up in price over the years, and we've never changed our levels except introducing more when the science required it. And as you see here, again, all the leading brands from CVS, Kirkland, Target, Safeway, Kroger, Walgreens, and those were the leading brands before, One A Day, and also, I think, what is it, Theragram, One A Day, all the big brands, and they don't even come close. And biotin. often called the beauty vitamin. Biotin, in our original Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails, 2 capsules gave you 500 micrograms of biotin. That was the level in our beauty vitamin. That was 20 years ago. We now give you 4,000. But to think that our multivitamin, and biotin is outrageously expensive, that our multivitamin gives you the same levels as our beauty vitamin, but look at what you get in the leading brands. And the one thing that's amazing is One A Day Women's delivers 1,000 micrograms, which is great.
Right.
But unfortunately, if you look at all the other levels they gave you, it was sadly insufficient.
Right.
Selenium, chromium, 2 very important trace minerals. Again, our levels are following the science and dramatically higher than the leading brands. And ours aren't megadoses. Ours are just levels that follow the science. And as we continue here, again, all the leading brands, typically 30 is what you typically get with biotin. Sometimes folks will live 300, but again, we give you 500. And we have, I'd say, more experience with biotin given our Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nail formula than everyone else. And lycopene, lutein, zeaxanthin, the 3 most expensive ingredients in the formula. As you can see, the chart is basically zeros. Everyone else gives you nothing. And I suspect expense has a great deal to do with that, because I've known for years that these other companies have taken a hard look at including lutein, lycopene, and zeaxanthin. But the moment they do that, it will dramatically increase the cost of their product. So they'd rather not give these incredibly important ingredients. As you can see, again, it's basically zeros across the board of lutein, lycopene, and zeaxanthin. So hopefully, I've successfully communicated all the things they give you in those products that you don't want, all the things that are important that you're seeking that we do a better job delivering, both in terms of form. I didn't even mention folic acid. Most of us have issues metabolizing and converting folic acid into its active form. We use a form of folic acid called 5-MTHF. And that methyl tetrahydrofolate. That 5-MTHF is for someone like me who does have issues metabolizing folate. That delivers a form of folate that everyone can benefit from, because again, it's its natural active form. It unfortunately costs over $50,000 a kilogram. That means it costs over $25,000 a pound. Obviously, that's why the leading multivitamins don't choose to incorporate that, but we do. Our form of B12, our form of vitamin C, our form of vitamin E, the active gamma tocopherol form, all the leading brands give you synthetic vitamin E, less active. So I could go on and on and on about the differences. What's remarkable today, once a year, it's pennies a day.
Yeah.
It's a fraction of its normal price, and its normal price is a great value.
It's funny, as Andrew was going through all of that, I was trying to think about if anybody at home in your job, if you represent a product or your job is to talk about a product, wouldn't you love to talk about this? Because you know, you show those, you show the comparisons. What customer would ever say, nah, anybody that takes a multivitamin would choose this every single time? Every single time? You can't even look at the others. That's why we're excited to bring it to you as a today's special. I'm excited for you to try it. Andrew spends a lot of time talking and showcasing some of the challenges that we have, I have, you have perhaps as well, with diet and getting the right nutrients, eating the right foods as often, as regularly as we should. For most of us, that's not a reality, so we need something to supplement that. I think we all agree, we all would love to live forever, as long as we possibly can, and of course, if we can give our body the things that it needs, that it's craving, that it so desperately wants, that's going to help us overall. If you're going to take any vitamin, if you only take one, if the rest of these 2 hours is not for you, but you only choose one vitamin, of course it's going to be this. Comprehensive is a word, the only word that seems suitable. It's so super ultra potent in terms of the way Andrew has created this specialist formula, and that's why we've now, as we approach 24,000 spoken for, we are very, very, very excited to see this response. Just a reminder, out of every vitamin that Andrew does, this is the one where clearly 90% of folks choose that 400 caps, because one a day, I want to take one every single day, 365 days a year. So if you do that today, I mean, the price is $89.90. Think about that for a second. A whole year of Andrew's Essential one a day, the best multivitamin on planet Earth. I think we can all agree that's the case after seeing that. is $89.90. It's 20 cents or so a day. That is an affordable way for our good health.
And it's over a year. It's over 13 months. So when you look at it that way, over 13 months, that comes to basically about $7 a month. It comes to a little more than 20 cents per day. Right. So it's a great value. What I was going to do is read some of the reviews.
Yeah.
Then I'll read some of the science. And some of the science really goes to the specific nutrients like vitamin D and vitamin B12. And if you're not supplementing vitamin D, you should. And today at this price, you're basically getting to enjoy the benefits of a complete multivitamin, and you'll get your 2,000 IU of vitamin D. So if you're choosing, I think our vitamin D alone would be about $60 for 400 days of vitamin D, 2,000 IU. So today for another $20, I think it's that third chart. What is it? It would, oh, I'm wrong. It would be $72. So for another $17 and no shipping and handling, you're getting your separate vitamin D. So rather than buy a separate vitamin D for $17 more, you're getting a separate B12, a separate B complex, a separate multimineral as well. You're getting all of those nutrients. Or if the choice was B12, you could look there. $72 for B12. You're getting the equivalent of our 250 microgram separate B12. And there's no B12 like it in the world that I've seen, because what we do is not only do we use the special form of natural B12, we also protect it so it can be absorbed. Otherwise, throwing B12 in a supplement is like throwing it in the trash.
Right.
Because it's not going to be bioavailable, unfortunately. And at the levels that are delivered in a typical multivitamin, which are a small fraction of what we provide, it's 1/40th, about 2% of what we provide. That 2% in a form that isn't protected, it's literally just a waste. It's just going away. So if you want to have a chance to have that central vitamin in terms of energy production, you need to focus on B12, and it's also partners, the B complex vitamins. So just by investing in a B12, you'd get this entire multivitamin. Just by investing in vitamin D, you're getting this entire multivitamin. So hopefully, and another thing I'm often asked, liquid vitamins. If liquid vitamins could work, you could bet I would do it. The only way you could do a liquid vitamin, and we're taking a hard look at it, is if it's not a liquid, it's a powder, and then you mix it to become a liquid. The minute you put something in a liquid, what you need to start doing is you need to start compromising the ingredients for purposes of stability, compromising the ingredients for purposes of activity. So what ends up happening is you're going to get an extremely low potency version of a multivitamin if you're drinking some liquid multivitamin. Also, in the cases I've looked at, there's a whole range of other frightening ingredients they add to either enhance solubility, to enhance flavor, things of that nature. So unfortunately, I wish there could be a liquid vitamin. I would make it in a heartbeat if there could, and I've been looking at doing it for 39 years. We're actually close to making a powdered version where if you chose to, you could get the ingredients like those in Essential 1 and mix them with water, or mix it in a smoothie, stir it up, and you're done. So that's something that can be done, and then you don't compromise the ingredients to create something that's going to sit on a shelf for 2 or 3 years in aqueous solution. That just doesn't work. We've tried, we've struggled, but it just doesn't work. So I was just going to read some.
And Andrew, I've come to know now not even to mention the term gummy vitamin.
And the gummy vitamin industry is growing in leaps and bounds, but I talk about, here we are with gummy vitamins. It's basically turning an otherwise healthy vitamin into a candy. Tablets are bad enough with all their additives. Gummies that I've seen, even worse. Whether it's just because you want to consume a vitamin, you should basically try to get those ingredients, I would think, in the most pure, direct, straightforward form, in their best chemical forms, meaning each of the nutrients selected for their optimum, maximum activity, and not doing anything to add to that formula, or burden you, whether it's colors or binders or fillers or sugars or carbs or preservatives, nothing of that nature. That's what we do. I showed you before, it's a simple capsule. And it's funny, when I hold this capsule, and if you get them home, the capsule's hard. Right. Because they are chock full of ingredients. It's hard, but as you can see, it's filled with an ultrafine powder. That's the beauty of our product. That's why it will not upset your stomach. It's that capsule that dissolves in instants when it's delivered to your stomach. And again, so many of us suffer from, if you want to look at a class of drugs that have gone from nothing to being huge selling drugs, look at the class of drugs that are the proton pump inhibitors, the things that all of us take for stomach upset, for GERD, gastric esophageal reflux disease, things like Nexium and Prilosec and there's a whole family of different proton pump inhibitors. They're very effective. They reduce the secretion of hydronions of hydrochloric acid, and in so doing reduce the symptoms we experience. It comes with side effects and other issues, but suffice to say, that underscores the fact that we are having challenges with things that tend to irritate our stomach.
Yeah.
So why would we want to take a multivitamin that's a tablet that's going to irritate our stomach? That's again why we do what we do, ultrafine powder, pH neutral, non-acidic. If you could drink a glass of water, you'll be able to take this without it upsetting your stomach. And again, if it did upset people's stomach, I've been talking about this for decades, if it did upset people's stomach, this product wouldn't have 97% positive reviews. It wouldn't have close to 90% of its reviews being 5-star reviews, which is close to 90% 5-star reviews. You can go to the best restaurant, watch the best movie, read the best book. I don't think they have 90% 5-star reviews. So that's a testament to the product. So I'm going to read some reviews, speaking of reviews. And awesome product. Doctors impressed. Even my primary medical doctor was impressed with this. Having it in a powder form so my body can get all the vitamins instead of those hard, solid pills that end up passing through and out of your body. Anyone who's ever been in medical school, and in terms of radiology, one of the things you'll see, you're a practicing radiologist, you'll see pills going through patients, undigested.
Right.
And those are tablets that are heavily mineral-based, relatively insoluble, and they're bound up. And unfortunately, given the individuality that we all possess in our digestive system, that individuality means that some of us might digest tablets well, some of us might not. Many of us won't. Many of us won't liberate the contents. So when you're looking at those x-rays and seeing those tablets passing through people, and more often than not they're multivitamin, multiminerals, it gives you another understanding of why a powder and a capsule is the right way, and why Rusty's doctor here was impressed. And as we continue passing and out of your body before they're even all used. I noticed my doctor reading the label when I showed him the bottle, and he liked what he read. Must be a real item. I'll keep ordering this, that is for sure, from Rusty in California. Feeling the difference. I've been taking Essential One for more than a year, and at first I didn't seem to notice a difference. The difference was well noted in my yearly blood work. My levels were the closest to normal they had been in years. I continued taking Essential One until one day the container was empty. Oh boy, my order couldn't get here fast enough. I really noticed a difference without them. I was tired, sluggish, and moody. We hear it all the time. Happily, I received them, started taking them again, and I'm feeling better. My family is happy they arrived too. I even got family members to try them. Never leave home without it. I've taken Essential One for a lot of years and cannot even remember when I have not felt well. I totally believe this product helps keep me healthy along with a proper diet and exercise. I take a number of Andrew's supplements and have complete faith in his knowledge of good health. I love that he has his own factory right here in the good old USA. Take this product and feel great, from Jana, Missouri. And it's funny, when we used to be in Santa Monica, and I moved our factory here to Nevada. The low humidity enables us to make a product like this. We could not make this product in Santa Monica. It's fascinating what havoc humidity wreaks with vitamin powders. But at that time, many folks were telling me that I could make my products for a fraction the cost if I moved my factory south of the border. I mean, how far is Santa Monica from Mexico? Right. Probably, what, 150, 160 miles? But I never contemplated doing it, and we make our products here in America. And in fact, this is not a TV set. This is the factory we make them in. We built a set because we're so proud of the fact that we make our products, and we want to show it off a few times a year, that we built a studio on the floor of the factory, totally isolated from the factory, separate air supply and everything like that. So it's an opportunity for you to see an absolutely unique manufacturing experience. They say that more and more companies are leaving the U.S. to manufacture products overseas. And I understand why they might do that, because it certainly is, from an economic basis, a good idea. Shareholders like making more profit, so it's easy to make a decision to move overseas. There's only one shareholder in my company, and that's me. So I'm here in the good old USA, and that's where we're going to stay. No matter how much we grow here. In fact, we just built next door another building that we're using for warehouse and staging, and for us to do more of our manufacturing. So rather than sending it overseas or sending it to someone else, and that's the facility that is Matt Ryba, my buddy, our construction company, we built it ourselves. And that went up over a period of just a couple of months. So that's our new facility that is next door, that will be mostly used for warehousing and staging materials and things like that, because we do right now all the production here, and we expand as we see fit. But it's a cheaper decision to expand overseas. It's a cheaper decision to let other people manufacture my products for me. But it's a decision never based in quality, nor in the interests of this country. It's the reason why I have solar panels. I started doing solar panels when we were complaining about how much oil we imported from overseas. And so not just environmental, not just global warming or climate change, but just I didn't want to be dependent on foreign oil. So we're a company that has had no carbon footprint. We've relied on no foreign oil or anything like that for over 20 years. So, and again, we also are I guess the largest single source in the world of donated prenatal vitamins throughout the world. So it's something that we try to be the most environmentally responsible, the most socially responsible, and also the most ethical in terms of the quality of the products. And again, we're able to be a company here in America because there are Americans using our products. And please forgive me, other companies that might not like what I'm about to say, but it's sort of strange. It would be strange for me to say, my way of saying thank you to the Americans who love my products is by moving my production overseas. Even though it might be a better decision economically, it wouldn't be a better decision in my mind ethically. I love traveling overseas. I love visiting Muriel's family in France, but I like producing my products right here in the good old USA.
To quote the famous line from Richard Attenborough in Jurassic Park, Andrew Lessman has spared no expense. With Andrew Lessman products, it is quality over quantity. With Andrew Lessman products, it's always about everybody winning. Most of all, it's about you getting the very finest product in the world. And that's why when we see these images, when we talk about the environmental aspects, when we talk about vitamin angels, when we talk about the quality and the product itself, this is all so important to know, because every single day when you look at this bottle of vitamins, you'll feel good, you'll feel better. It's something that helps us obviously physically, emotionally, mentally, when you realize that you're taking something that is so wholesome. Perhaps that's the appropriate word, Andrew.
Well, even when a lot of folks, and there's all sorts of great research talking about the fact that Americans suffer from a less than positive outlook more than ever, and I'm not talking politically now, I think there's way too much political dialogue going on. I try to, even though I might have my political opinions, I just try to rise above that fray. My goal is wellness, and to the extent we could focus on public health and wellness, that's what I'll do, and it kind of gives us an opportunity to stay away from that whole discourse right now, which has become a little bit less polite than it has been in the past. So when it comes to health, when it comes to well-being, when it comes to outlook, it's no wonder that we have an epidemic of a less than positive outlook when we look at the role that, say, vitamin D plays in brain function. Most of us think about vitamin D and we think about the health of our bones. But you can't escape thinking about your brain and your heart and your musculature, because the highest concentration of vitamin D receptors are found in the highest functioning areas of the brain. So our positive outlook and attitude, our memory and concentration, all depends healthy vitamin D levels. Most Americans don't possess that. Our multivitamin, our Essential One, is basically a separate vitamin D supplement. And when we think about muscular contraction, as we get older, the risk of falling increases with each increasing decade. That risk of falling goes down dramatically with adequate vitamin D levels, not because of the health of our bones, which of course is important, but because muscular contraction, if you're an athlete, if you like being active, muscular contraction requires healthy vitamin D levels. Most of us, if we're not supplementing, not some of us, most of us, and some will say all of us who aren't supplementing, don't have adequate vitamin D levels. And again, our heart is a muscle. So muscular contraction requires healthy vitamin D levels. And I haven't even begun to talk about B12 or the B vitamins in terms of energy, in terms of neurological and brain function. So that is why, and I could grab the charts here in a moment and I'll do that. That is why when you look at the respected scientific journals, medical journals, they might discuss whether this ingredient or that ingredient is really going to make a health difference. And what they often discuss in those medical journals, whether the lifetime consumption of a multivitamin is going to reduce your risk of cancer. That's not what I'm looking at when I'm taking a multivitamin. I'm not looking at disease prevention. I'm looking at quality of life. And quality of life is what this product is all about. And certainly there's all sorts of great research that if you have adequate levels of vitamin D and adequate levels of vitamin B12 and various B complex, that certain health risks go down over the course of your lifetime. But the science that is absolutely unanimous, not argued, is the fact that every ingredient in this multivitamin is something we need that our body can't make. It's something we need and we're not getting in our diet at levels that we require. So scientifically, there's just no argument about the essential nature of this product. And so if you're going to invest in a multivitamin, and that should be the first foundational investment if you're investing in other supplements, this is the place to start. And to think that you could do it for literally pennies a day, that you could literally get a month of Essential 1 with CoQ10 for the cost of one of those expensive coffee drinks. I mean, it's okay to give up, I think, that one expensive coffee drink a month to have the protection of a multivitamin for that entire month. So I think that's a sound investment.
It's an easy decision, yes. And just to highlight as we bring this to the close in the next 4 or 5 minutes, clearly one a day, 365 days a year. Most folks are choosing the 400 caps. I do want to give you some updates. In the 2000 IU of the vitamin D3, that is now the most limited. Just to really showcase though, not only are the savings gigantic, this is also on 4 flex pay. So we can take the 89 and divide it by 4. I only say it because some vitamins you might not take every day. This we know you're going to take every day, and that's why clearly that makes the most sense to do it. The only thing I would ask of you as a host here at HSN is that you do leave a review, as Andrew shares all the time. 2,500 5-star reviews. Your reviews are so important to spread the word, spread the message. Good products and good brands and good people deserve to do well. And this embodies all of those things. It's an investment in ourselves with no sacrifice or compromise. And I'll round out by saying this, even looking at the charts, comparing Centrum and One A Day and what they've got, what we've got, there is no comparison. But even if you want to take it down to its most basic level, if you are watching us today and you are taking a multivitamin that is a hard tablet in any color, if it's a hard tablet, then that's an easy decision to know that you're not taking a vitamin that's as good as Andrew's, which is a fine powder, because this hard tablet is hard on your stomach. This fine powder is much, much easier to digest and much more effective. So that's an easy way to think about it. Andrew, as I've said to you many times, I could talk about all day long.
Now, I was just grabbing some charts here that I wanted to read some reviews, and I only read a couple, but I have some great charts here that are, from what I would call rather august, rather serious, credible bodies in terms of the science of multivitamins. And this is the easiest product of mine to talk about. In fact, the way I do supplements, I stay away from sort of the sketchy ingredients, and we really focus on the science. And in some cases, it takes us many years to decide to introduce a product because we wait for the compelling scientific basis to offer that product. But just let's read some interesting quotes that pertain to multivitamins. And again, I went over why there's no multivitamin the equal of this in terms of purity, quality, comprehensiveness. But here from the Journal of the American Medical Association, multivitamins are recommended rather than individual vitamins because multivitamins are simpler to take and cheaper than the individual vitamins taken separately. And because a large proportion of the population needs supplements of more than one vitamin. That's from a very reputable medical publication. And many folks avoid multivitamins because of all the additives, because they're hard on the stomach, because they contain so many ingredients that they're difficult to digest, that they're going to repeat on them. Never, ever, ever happens with my products. I encourage you, if that's your fear, you should read the reviews. This comes with a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. You will not be disappointed. This product does not deliver any problems. All it delivers is the nutrition you've dreamed of but thought was impossible to get because of the way products are typically made. But as we continue here, again from the Journal of the American Medical Association, many Americans do not consume the amount and types of foods necessary to meet recommended micronutrient intakes, micronutrients being vitamins and minerals. As a result of low intakes of nutrient-rich foods and sedentary lifestyles, many Americans are falling short of vitamin and mineral recommendations. Obviously, a multivitamin is the simple answer. Taking a multivitamin supplement from the National Institutes of Health, the Office of Dietary Supplements from our government, increases nutrient intakes and helps people get the recommended amounts of vitamins and minerals when they cannot or do not meet these needs from food alone. And we all know the population doesn't accomplish that. Harvard School of Public Health. True, a healthy diet should provide nearly all the nutrients you need, but many people don't eat the healthiest of diets. That's why a multivitamin can help fill the gaps and may have added health benefits. They go on to say, when it comes to micronutrients, many Americans get less than the adequate amounts according to criteria set by the Institute of Medicine. For example, more than 90% of Americans get less than the estimated average requirement for vitamin D and vitamin E from food sources alone. Actually, it's B12 as well. So those three nutrients alone, and we provide separate levels of them in this multivitamin. Many older people have trouble absorbing vitamin B12 from food. By older, I'd even say over 35 or 40, we start struggling absorbing B12. The Dietary Guidelines for Americans 2010, in fact, recommends that people over the age of 50 eat foods fortified with vitamin B12. And most foods aren't fortified with B12, so it means you have to take a supplement with B12. Our multivitamin is a better B12 supplement than any B12 supplement you're going to find. A daily multivitamin and maybe an extra vitamin D supplement, you don't need it with us. Our vitamin D is in, our multivitamin is a vitamin D supplement, is a good way to make sure you're getting all the nutrients you need to be healthy. Again, this is not advertising. Right. This is the School of Public Health at Harvard University. A daily multivitamin is an inexpensive nutrition insurance policy. Try to take one every day. That's sort of would sound like a slogan from a company. From the Journal of the American Dietetic Association, when taken regularly, multivitamin minerals can be an effective way to increase nutrient intakes to meet recommended levels of multiple nutrients. It's exactly what we do. The extent to which a multivitamin mineral can improve nutrient adequacy is impacted by the nutrient profile of the supplement taken, which is why I spent so much time showing you how much more we deliver of the key nutrients you need and want. The Harvard School of Public Health said take a multivitamin and perhaps add some vitamin D. Ours has 2,000 already. Typical multivitamin has 400. Ours says we give you an option of 1,000 or 2,000 specifically because you might be getting vitamin D from another source already because we already know how important it is. So this is just to underscore that multivitamin isn't my invention. When our blueprint was designed a long time ago, certain nutrients were exempted from our ability to produce them. We do not have that ability. Our inability to produce those nutrients means that we must consume them. The way we eat, the way we live, we do not get them. And the only way we can is by eating foods that are fortified with them, most of us don't, or by simply supplementing as we do here.
The most important thing in our lives will always be our health, the health of our family members, the health of our loved ones. What are we doing today to help maximize our health, to help give us the right amount of nutrition, vitamins, minerals? What are we doing today to make sure that we are giving ourselves the very, very best? It doesn't matter anything else we see today, tomorrow, this weekend. If we're not taking a quality multivitamin, I think we're missing out. I mean, we are. Because are you eating salads for every meal? I'm not. I love that bread basket in the restaurant. Are you eating all the wonderful, nutritious things that we know look good and should be good, but we don't do it? We have the cheeseburger and fries. Well, at least I did last night. The reality is I also took my essential one. I cannot say more than what I've already said. The evidence is there, the proof is there, the side-by-sides are there. I don't think we've left anybody hanging. It truly is an incredible product, and I'm thrilled to be able to talk about it. Andrew, I know we're wrapping things up.
We are. We'll have a brief revisit of this at the end of the hour, and then we're all done at, I guess, 9 p.m. tonight. So we only do, unlike other Today Specials, we just do it when we kick it off at midnight. We then come back at noon, and then we come back in the evening. So we don't have multiple airings. And we also want to talk about other products. So we try to focus our attention on a few other of your favorites, which we'll be doing in a moment. We'll get to glucosamine chondroitin, because I think this time of year, a lot of us started exercising, as did I, and which I exercise all the time, but I upped the level at which I exercise. And I think we focus on our joints a little bit more this time of year because we're being more active, hopefully at least.
So we'll head over there to the glucosamine chondroitin. Stay in the ordering process for your essential one. Just a reminder that I'm going to take my pen with me. I like to make notes when Andrew's talking. What was I saying? Yes, don't forget to order the 400 caps if you want to get the one every single day. It's the biggest value.
And again, you only take one a day. That's all you do. That many people think, it's so great, I'm going to take a handful of these. You don't. It's designed to be taken one a day. It's that high potency. So really there's no reason to ever take more than one capsule a day of that. If you wanted more D or B12 or something like that, you take those separately. But the multivitamin itself is so comprehensive, you stay at one. And the reason we do 400 capsules is the Today Special next year will be like a year or so away probably. So we want to make sure, just in case it goes a little later than the end of February, we want to make sure that you're still going to have a capsule for every day until the next Today Special, where you again get to save more than what you're spending.
So we're going to talk about, as Andrew said, strong, healthy, flexible joints. I actually went to Andrew a couple months ago, 3-4 months ago, and talked to him about the issues I was having with my knee. He had recommended I take this. Already the difference, and Andrew, I went through a whole regimen of things with yours, including the marine collagen. This is a phenomenal product that I know I'm not the only one where this has had an impact on your life. Andrew, it's awesome.
And what's great about the products we'll often talk in terms of our joints. I've talked about glucosamine and chondroitin for 39 years. It was one of my original products long before anyone else contemplated doing glucosamine chondroitin. We also talk about our marine collagen peptides because collagen is the integrating structure of our joints and also so many tissues in our body. And just as that applies to so many tissues in our body, so does glucosamine chondroitin. We don't think of it in terms of other tissues, but just as our joints rely on their flexibility to exhibit their beneficial properties, the same for our vascular tissue, our arteries and veins. The same goes for our skin. So glucosamine chondroitin, whatever you're seeking from it, you're getting benefits in other tissues. And glucosamine chondroitin is the very building block of our joint tissue. And our joint tissue is unique in that, I mean, first of all, our joint tissue doesn't have really adequate blood supply. Our musculature, yes, does. So we really have to do our very best to maintain the health of our joints over the course of our lifetime. And unfortunately, over the course of our lifetime, and our normal lifetimes now are quite lengthy. They're 80, 90, 100 years or more. The levels of centenarians, people live to over 100 years, are dramatically increasing every year, which means that the way we treat our joints over the course of our lifetime dramatically affects the quality of our lifetime as we age. And so glucosamine chondroitin, for me, it's something that I've always relied on. My entire life, I've run, I bike, I do all sorts of activities every single day. So I realize that the extent to which that I maintain my ankles, my knees, my hips, that really is part of staying healthy for me and staying happy for me. And I wanted to show something unique about a glucosamine chondroitin. First of all, the forms we use are unique. Most glucosamine chondroitin products are not sodium-free. Ours is. Most come in rock-hard tablets that are difficult on your stomach, hard to digest. Ours is an ultrafine powder. And unfortunately also, most glucosamine chondroitin the glucosamine comes in the form of HCl. Ours comes in the form of sulfate. Sulfate is the form that has been scientifically established, not the HCl, the hydrochloric form. The HCl form also, for those of you with sensitive stomachs who might have considerations about GERD or things like that, might be taking proton pump inhibitor, the PPI, things like Nexium or Prilosec, things like that. If you have a sensitive stomach, the last thing you want to be taking is glucosamine or chondroitin hydrochloride, HCl. What is HCl? That's hydrochloric acid. So again, the form that's cheap that the mass market manufacturers rely on, that doesn't have the scientific support, is a form that's not in your best interest, neither from the standpoint of your joints or from the standpoint of your stomach and your digestive system. So ours is an ultrafine powder, dissolves instantly to deliver its benefit, never upsets your stomach. Theirs is otherwise. It's a form that hasn't been scientifically established. It's cheaper for them, but it's not better for you. In all respects, it's worse for you. So that's the most important message with glucosamine and chondroitin, that it's an established ingredient, but most companies unfortunately choose to do it wrong because it's cheaper to do it wrong. And we have always done it right, which is why this product, I think it's 4.5 stars or something like that. It's almost a perfectly reviewed product with
81%, 1,095 reviews.
Right. 81% 5-star reviews. So a product that over 90% of the reviews are positive reviews, and that is a testament, because you're not going to find other glucosamine chondroitin products with that